Imagine waking up and being instantly hit with notifications, news, ads, endless opinions, and an avalanche of noise. Before you've even had your first sip of coffee, the world is already screaming for your attention. Everyone wants a reaction. Everyone wants your emotion. And if you're not careful, they'll take it. You'll spend your day consumed not with purpose but with panic, distraction, and noise. But what if there was a way to stay calm? To remain centered in the middle of the storm? To walk through the chaos with peace in your mind and power in your heart? The ancient Stoics knew this world, our world. No, they didn't have smartphones, but they had politics, war, betrayal, manipulation, and noise. They were surrounded by drama, by distractions, and by constant pressure to conform or lose themselves. And yet, they remained unmoved. They mastered the art of stillness in motion, of clarity in confusion, of self-control in madness. In this video, we'll dive deep into the timeless strategies that Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca used to rise above the noise. You'll learn how to protect your peace, discipline your mind, and reclaim your life in a chaotic world that profits from your distraction. This isn't just philosophy, it's a survival manual for the modern soul. Let's begin. Introduction: Why the world is noisier than ever. We live in the loudest time in human history. Not loud in the sense of sound alone, but mentally loud, emotionally loud. A non-stop bombardment of attention-grabbing content, political outrage, artificial urgency, and curated perfection. Every minute of your life is now interrupted by alerts, headlines, advertisements, arguments, memes, and trends. The average person checks their phone 96 times a day. Social media platforms are engineered to hijack your dopamine system. News outlets capitalize on your fear. Even silence is filled with internal chatter. The voices of comparison, anxiety, and uncertainty. It's chaos. Not outside you. Inside you. We've lost the ability to sit still. We've lost the discipline to focus. And in doing so, we've lost control. This is why Stoicism matters more today than ever before. The Stoics lived in a world of wars, plagues, emperors, and executions. Their reality was far from peaceful. Yet they developed a mental framework so powerful that even under pressure, they remained anchored. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor, wrote his private journal, now known as Meditations, not to publish, but to remind himself how to stay sane amidst political madness. Seneca, a statesman and advisor to Nero, practiced silence and self-restraint in a time where one wrong word could mean death. Epictetus, born a slave, taught that you may not control what happens around you, but you can always control how you respond. These men lived through their own versions of noise and developed strategies to conquer it. Now, it's your turn. Section 1. The Stoic definition of chaos. To the Stoics, chaos wasn't just disorder or confusion, it was a lack of control over one's own mind. Chaos wasn't necessarily in the world outside. It was in our reactions, our judgments, and our desires. Epictetus famously said, "It's not things that disturb us, but our opinions about them." The noise we experience daily is often a result of how we interpret the world, not the world itself. In Stoicism, the mind is like a fortress. You are the gatekeeper, but modern life has knocked the gates down. We've outsourced control of our thoughts to algorithms, opinions, and external validation. The Stoics saw this as spiritual suicide. They believed in the concept of inner order, the discipline to govern your thoughts, emotions, and actions. When you lose that, chaos floods in. Marcus Aurelius warned himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Modern chaos comes in many forms. Overwhelm from too many tasks, anxiety from too much comparison, anger from constant provocation, fear from sensationalized news. But underneath all of these is the same root problem. We're reacting instead of responding. We're allowing the external world to dictate our internal state. The Stoics flipped this. They trained themselves to become masters of perception. So, in the Stoic sense, chaos isn't about what's going on around you. It's about how much power you've surrendered within you. Section 2. Training the Stoic mind. Discipline in daily life. 900 words. You cannot fight chaos with more noise. You fight it with discipline. The Stoics believed that a well-trained mind is the strongest armor. And this training didn't come from motivational speeches. It came from daily, uncomfortable practice. Marcus Aurelius began each day by preparing his mind. He wrote, "Today I shall meet with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness, all of them due to the offender's ignorance of what is good or evil." That wasn't pessimism. It was preparation. Each morning, remind yourself, chaos will come, but you will remain still. Here are Stoic strategies to train your mind daily. 1. Negative visualization, premeditatio malorum. Imagine the worst-case scenario. Visualize failure, loss, or insult. Not to become fearful, but to build resilience. When it comes, you're not shocked. You're steady. 2. Voluntary discomfort. Seneca practiced going without luxuries. He'd sleep on the floor, eat bland food, wear simple clothes. He reminded himself that he didn't need comfort. This practice sharpens you. Try fasting, cold showers, or a social media detox. Reclaim your edge. 3. Evening reflection, daily audit. Epictetus advised reflecting each evening. What did I do well? What did I do poorly? What could I improve? In a chaotic world, introspection is your compass. 4. Control the controllables. Make 2 columns. What's in your control versus what's not. Focus 100% on your thoughts, actions, and responses. Let go of the rest. 5. Guard your attention like a fortress. Your attention is sacred. Don't give it to noise. Turn off notifications. Limit social media. Start your day in silence, not scrolling. Choose stillness over stimulation. Discipline isn't punishment. It's protection. A Stoic mind isn't rigid, but it is grounded. In a world of noise, the disciplined mind becomes the quietest and the most powerful voice in the room. In a world designed to hijack your attention, Stoicism offers an antidote: presence. Not just mindfulness as a trend, but a deep-rooted commitment to being grounded in what truly matters. The Stoics believed that life is not lived in the past or the future, but in the moment you're in. And every time your attention is stolen, a piece of your life is stolen with it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." He didn't mean ignore the past or neglect the future, but rather, don't live in them. When you're scrolling endlessly, caught in imaginary arguments, or overthinking yesterday's mistakes, you become a prisoner of the unreal. Chaos wins when your mind is divided. To fight back, you must train yourself to return, again and again, to now. One breath, one thought, one action. That's all you ever truly have. And in the present, you find clarity. In the present, you regain power. To stay there, the Stoics used physical reminders. Epictetus carried a wax tablet. Seneca wrote letters to himself. Marcus journaled daily. Not as routines, but as rituals of awareness. In modern times, you can build your own. Leave your phone in another room while you work, set boundaries with news consumption, create tech-free hours. The more you honor your attention, the less the chaos can reach you. The world may still scream, but inside, you are quiet. Inside, you are unshakable. When life erupts in chaos, war, betrayal, failure, insult, the difference between collapse and composure is mindset. And the Stoics didn't just theorize resilience, they lived it in the fire. Take Marcus Aurelius, for example, emperor of Rome during wars, plagues, and palace conspiracies. He could have ruled with tyranny or drowned in despair. Instead, he sat each night and wrote private reflections, reminders to stay humble, grateful, and calm amidst power and suffering. He wrote not to the world, but to himself. That's what makes meditation so powerful. It's not a performance, it's survival. Now consider Epictetus, born a slave, physically disabled, beaten by his master. Yet he would later become a revered philosopher who taught emperors. He could have been consumed by rage or victimhood, but he chose freedom of the mind. He taught that no matter what the world takes from you, your job, your home, your dignity, it can never touch your inner freedom unless you surrender it. Then there's Seneca, forced to tutor Nero, the very man who would later order his death. Seneca lived under constant danger, and yet he wrote about joy, clarity, and detachment. When the time came for him to die, he did so without panic. He greeted death like an old friend, embodying the ultimate Stoic lesson. Nothing external, not even death, can shake a trained mind. These men didn't run from chaos. They mastered how to meet it. But Stoic power isn't reserved for ancient Rome. Look at Admiral James Stockdale, an American POW during the Vietnam War, who survived brutal torture for over 7 years. What kept him sane in a cell while others broke? The writings of Epictetus. Stockdale credited Stoicism with saving his life. He accepted the things he could not change, but never surrendered his integrity. He controlled his mind even when his body was imprisoned. Or consider modern thinkers like Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, who echoed Stoic principles when he wrote, "Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances." Chaos surrounded him, death, starvation, evil. But his spirit remained intact because he clung to meaning. Even in everyday life, there are Stoics walking among us. Single mothers navigating broken systems without complaining, veterans battling PTSD while mentoring youth, people who lose everything in a fire and still wake up with gratitude. Real-life Stoicism is not about sounding wise. It's about choosing stillness over screaming, calm over chaos, purpose over panic. It's the executive who's betrayed by his team and chooses forgiveness over revenge. It's the teenager who's bullied online and walks away with dignity, not rage. It's you, right now, learning to step back, breathe deep, and respond with wisdom instead of reacting with emotion. The Stoic doesn't need to be loud. They need to be steady, because in a noisy world, power belongs to the one who speaks last, not loudest. In each example, from emperors to prisoners, from ancient streets to modern homes, the lesson remains the same. The world will never be quiet, but your mind can be. And that stillness, that control over your own soul, is where true strength lives. Applying Stoic wisdom in today's chaos doesn't require living like a monk or escaping to the mountains. It requires discipline, clarity, and the courage to face life as it is. You don't have to quote Marcus Aurelius to live like him. What you need are small, powerful habits that anchor your mind while the world storms around you. The first and most vital habit: morning reflection. Before your phone, before the news, before the noise, sit down with a pen and ask yourself, what do I control today? What must I accept? What kind of person will I choose to be, no matter what happens? This is your armor. The Stoics believe that the day belongs to the prepared. Marcus did this every morning, not for show, but to train his mind for battle. Not a physical one, but the emotional one within. Second habit: practicing voluntary discomfort. Cold showers, fasting, hard workouts, walking instead of driving. Choose at least one challenge per day that makes you slightly uncomfortable. Why? Because it toughens your mind. If you only seek comfort, life will break you the moment it doesn't go your way. But if you seek a little hardship on purpose, the chaos of life won't scare you. It will feel familiar. Seneca used to sleep on the floor and eat coarse food to remind himself that luxury is fragile. That habit made him strong when fate turned cruel. Third, turn every irritation into a lesson. When someone cuts you off, when your boss yells, when plans fall apart, don't say, "Why is this happening to me?" Say instead, "Good. Now I train." This is what the Stoics meant by turning obstacles into fuel. If it triggers you, it's your training ground. This isn't about suppressing emotion. It's about owning it, not letting it own you. Fourth, digital discipline. In a world where outrage sells and distraction is the drug of choice, the Stoic learns to guard their time like a soldier guards a gate. Limit your exposure to outrage culture. Turn off notifications. Delete apps that steal your peace. Replace doom scrolling with deliberate learning. Choose signal over noise. Epictetus warned that if you spend your time on the opinions of others, you lose yourself. In modern terms, don't let the algorithm control your soul. Fifth, journaling at night. Before you sleep, ask yourself, did I live with virtue today? Did I react with wisdom or emotion? What did I learn from today's chaos? The Stoics saw each day as a test, not of success or failure, but of character. Night journaling isn't about guilt, it's about growth. It's the mirror that keeps your ego in check and your purpose in sight. Sixth, value your circle. The people around you either fuel your peace or amplify your noise. Spend time with those who elevate your discipline, not those who drag you into drama. Seneca wrote, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you." In today's terms, unfollow toxic people. Walk away from gossip. Build a tribe of people who value truth, silence, and purpose. Seventh, speak less, listen more. In chaos, most people panic, argue, or post. The Stoic pauses. They absorb, reflect, and then speak with intention, or sometimes not at all. Practice speaking only when your words improve silence. This is radical in today's culture of instant opinion, but in that restraint lies real power. Lastly, remember death, not in a morbid way, but as a guide. Every day could be your last. That's not a threat. It's a wake-up call. Memento mori. This Stoic practice makes you grateful, humble, and courageous. When you remember that life is short, you stop wasting time on what you can't control and start living by what you can. Chaos shrinks when time becomes precious. These habits are not glamorous. They won't go viral, but they will make you mentally unshakable. In a world chasing stimulation, you will choose stillness. In a world reacting with rage, you will respond with reason. That's what makes you dangerous. Not your wealth, not your strength, but your ability to remain grounded when everyone else is lost in noise. That's Stoic power, and you can start building it today. The world won't quiet down for you. It will only get louder, more demanding, more chaotic. But you don't need the world to be calm. You need to be calm within it. That's the essence of Stoicism. Not escapism, not emotional suppression, but unshakable self-mastery in the middle of the storm. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire while writing words that still calm minds 2,000 years later. Epictetus had nothing, yet taught everything. Seneca lived under threat, yet died with dignity. And now you live in a world of distractions, outrage, endless scrolling, and noise. But you've been given the same tools they used. Your reason, your choices, your discipline. You can't control the chaos, but you can control how you respond to it. And that's where all your power lives. So the next time life screams at you, pause, breathe, ask yourself, what would a Stoic do? And then do it. Every day. Practice that discipline. Choose silence over impulse, reason over reaction, strength over comfort. And over time, you'll realize the chaos hasn't stopped, but it no longer controls you. If this message spoke to you, subscribe to the channel. This isn't just philosophy, it's survival. And if you're ready to build a life of focus, calm, and real strength, join us. Turn on notifications, drop a comment sharing what you let go of today, and share this video with someone who's drowning in the noise. They might just need this reminder. You can't control everything, but you can always control yourself. And that's enough to change your entire life.